Sairam students. Today we are going to do revision on composition topic, that is information transfer, and along with this we are also going to revise the poem, that is hide and seek. Now students, if you remember, we have already given you all the question answers earlier, right? And few questions were given as homework. I'm sure you all must have definitely done, or you must have definitely completed. So all of you now be ready with all your homework book, as along with the revision I am also going to discuss those answers, and simultaneously you all can cross check your answers, right? Now students, we are going to start with composition topic, that is information transfer. So students, do you all remember what is an information transfer? Yes, information transfer may be in a form of text, picture, graphs, flowcharts, tables, etc. The conversion of information from one form to another is called information transfer. Now students, there are two main types of information transfer, that is verbal to non-verbal and non-verbal to verbal. Now we will first understand what is verbal to non-verbal. Now, in verbal to non-verbal, you will be given a paragraph as a question, and you have to convert this paragraph. You have to read, you have to understand, and you have to convert it into a suitable diagram. So, read the given paragraph. That is your first step. Then, note its important features. Give an appropriate title. Yes, you will read the paragraph properly, and then after that, first step is you will note all the important features from that paragraph, and then when you start with a particular diagram, you will be first giving a suitable or appropriate title. Then transfer these features into different form as per the question. You have to read the question, understand accordingly, and then you will transfer the question into any particular form. Now, draw neat and accurate diagram. Draw with a pencil and write with a pen. Yes, your diagram should be accurate, it should be understandable. And while you're drawing, you have to use only pencil. Okay, but when you're writing any information, you will write with pen. Now students, let's revise non-verbal to verbal. In non-verbal to verbal, a diagram will be given and you need to convert it into paragraph. Now in non-verbal to verbal, there are different kinds of representation like maps and plans, graphs, tree diagram, flow charts, family tree, web charts, and so on. Okay, what you need to do is you need to read the given graph or diagram or table. Okay, you need to understand it. Then when you start with the paragraph, the first step is give an appropriate title. Then a logical sequence of information should be followed in paragraph. Yes, you need to follow in a chronological order, a proper order, right? Then the first two lines of a paragraph is called topic sentence, as it let us know what is a diagram all about. Okay, the first two sentences will summarize the main idea of the paragraph. Then in the paragraph you will cover all the points, use varieties in sentences, and you will write only in one paragraph, right? Now students, you will quickly check your answers. You have kept your homework book in front of you. Now quickly check the answers. Okay. Now the first question was, transfer the information about the water cycle into a flow chart. Okay, your first step is you will mark all the important features, and then accordingly we will convert it into a diagram. Okay. Then here in this case, it is common knowledge that the sunrise absorbs water from the surface of the earth, mainly seas, streams, rivers, and other such water bodies. Okay, that can be a first point. Then this gets converted into water vapor, and thus rises. As it goes higher, it becomes cooler and begins to move. Fine, this will be our next point. Then, various particles of vapor collect together and condense to form clouds. That can be a next point, which then becomes too heavy. Okay, then becomes too heavy and are difficult to sustain. Okay, this will be our next point. And then the condensed vapor in these clouds then comes down in the form of rains and fills the various water bodies, from where once again it evaporates with the heat of the sun. So this can be a next point. It evaporates with the heat of the sun, and thus the cycle of water is maintained. Okay, now let's see the answer. Now this is the flow chart. This is what we have got from this paragraph. We will give a heading, the first step, that is the water cycle, and then we will start with the flow chart. So the first step is sun rays absorb water from sea, stream or rivers. Then we will give an arrow. That is very important. You have to give a proper arrow to show the next step. Water vapor rises. Then again you have to give an arrow to the next step. The higher it goes, the cooler it becomes. Then again give an arrow and move towards the next step. Falls on the earth as rain. Then again give an arrow. Then becomes too heavy to hold water. And then again give an arrow. Condense into clouds. You now see, I have drawn this flow chart. Okay, and I have given a proper arrow and I have written all the information in the box. Now the next question was, look at the following graph. It shows the result of SSC exam of the General English High School. Write a paragraph giving all the information of SSC result. Now this was a graph given. Now first step is we need to understand the graph. Now like in this case, this empty box is for boys. This black box shows for girls. Now this axis shows percentage of passing, and this axis, the below axis, shows the year, in which year how many boys or how many girls have passed. And these are the graphs. Okay, these are all graphs which shows in which year how much progress has taken place, right? Now let's see how we can write the paragraph. Let's look at the answer. This is the SSC result of HD High School for 5 continuous years. Now here HD High School name is already given in the question. Alright. In 1997, 30% boys passed the SSC exam and 20% girls passed the exam. Okay, now the first graph. See, in the first graph it shows 30% boys and 20% girls have passed the exam. In 1998 the result was provided. In this year 40% boys and 35% girls passed the SSC exam. Now we can see here in 1998, we will see the graph of 1998. Okay, we have just written the same percentage here. We have to read the graph and write the same percentage. Then however, in 1999, the result came down. In this year, 25% boys and 20% girls passed the exam. Now, in 1999 graph, you can see here, okay, you can see even the boys have not performed and girls have also not performed. So that is why we have written as in 1999 the result came down. In this year 25% boys and 20% girls passed the exam. Okay. Then in the year 2000 the result was better than the previous year. Here 30% boys and 40% girls passed the exam. Now see, there's an improvement in the graph. Okay, girls are slowly they are performing better. Fine. Then in 2000, 60% boys and 65% girls passed the exam. We see that the girl bettered in their performance and their percentage of passing was more than the boys in 2000 and 2001. So students, along with this revision video, you also need to refer all the actual videos where we had taught the lesson or the topic in details. Okay. Now students, let's revise Hide and Seek, written by John Vernon Scandal. Now, this poem is not just about a childhood game, but it also tells about life. The poem takes the form of one long stanza and is written in free verse. Yes, free verse poetry has no rhyme scheme and no rhyming words. So, it is an open form of poetry. This simple game can easily be a metaphor for a person who hides away from his friends, and when he finally decides to be in their company, his friends are no longer there. They are no longer waiting for him and no longer seeking him. Yes, in this poem, the boy hides in the tool shed for a very long time. So the other player felt boring and they left the game. Yes, this game can easily be a metaphor as the poet talks about the situations in life. The poem starts with the confident and bold challenge of a child who has chosen a clever place to hide and is sure no one will be able to find him. There is a group of people who are playing hide and seek, and the boy who had called out is hiding in the shed, which is dark and has a salty smell, which reminds him of the seaside. Yes, in this poem, this boy very confidently he hides in the tool shed, and this tool shed is very dark and it has a salty smell, and this salty smells reminds him of the seaside. In spite the fact that he is uncomfortable or afraid, he takes comfort in the fact that no one will be able to search him. Yes, this place, tool shed, where he was hiding was very dark, so he was scared of it. Then the floor was also very cold. The atmosphere, there was a smell in the atmosphere, so it was very uncomfortable. But still, this boy did not move from that place, thinking that if he will move out, then the other players will catch him or find him. Here the poet talks to the boy, giving him advice that he should curl himself so that his feet aren't visible from behind the sack of the sand, and also makes him aware that if he shouts again, he will risk drawing attention to his hiding place. Now, when this boy, when he's hiding in the tool shed, the poet keeps talking to him. The poet keeps giving him advice. The poet tells him that he should keep his feet curled so that it should not be visible. The poet also advises him that he must not make a call again to them, as this might risk drawing attention of his hiding place. Then the another difficulty was the cold floor, but it was immediately overridden by the thought that the children who are seeking the boy will be searching near the bushes. The poet again advises the boy that he must be careful not to sneeze, as they will come searching for him in the tool shed. Here the floor was very cold, and as it was cold, this boy was about to sneeze. So here the poet again advises him as not to sneeze, or else the others will come searching for him in the tool shed. The seekers came near, and the boy hears them mutter, and very soon their voices fade. The boy was awing at the fact on his victory. Then the seekers they came near the tool shed, and this boy heard them mutter, and after some time the voices fade. The boy was very happy, thinking that he is the winner now. Soon the voices fade as they move away, believing that the boy would dare hide in the tool shed, as the place was not meant for children. Yes, this place, tool shed, is a place which is actually not meant for children. So they could not believe that this boy would hide in this place. So thinking that, they all went away. A long time passes since they had departed, and the boy grows uncomfortable, cold, stiff, and suffocated. He then finally decides that it is time to reveal that he has won. Later the boy was feeling very uncomfortable in the tool shed. He was feeling very cold. He was sitting stiff and very suffocated, and so he was not able to bear all this for a long time. So he finally decided that he will reveal everyone that he is the winner, as nobody could find him out. He then comes out from his hiding place and departs the shed, calling out his friend to announce him the winner. But to his dismay, he finds the garden empty and quiet. Yes, finally, after a long time, the boy decides to come out. However, he finds the garden empty and quiet. All the children had gone home without him. The poet, the narrator now, asks him where his friends are. Thus the poet ends on a note of mystery about the boy and his false idea of being a winner. Now students, these are the questions which was given as homework. Okay, now I will be reading out these answers. You can cross check your answer, or else if you want to write these answers, you can pause the video from your end at any moment and you can copy and write the answers. Fine? Okay. Something tickled on your nose. Your legs are stiff, just add little longer and then creep out. They are not coming back. You have tricked them properly. Now this is the reference to the context. Now the question here is, why are the child legs stiff? The child legs were stiff because the child has been hiding for long and sitting cramped in a position to hide himself from other people. What does push up the sack means? Push up the sack means the child has been hiding for a long time. He should get up, push up the sack and go out and find his friends. Now the next question. Explain the line, yes, here you are, but where are they? Who sought you? Now the answer is, this line holds an important message for the readers since the poem is about a game, hide and seek. But it has a large connotation. The child could have enjoyed his victory over the others, but only if he would have come at the right time. But he delayed, thinking that the others would be in awe of him. He came out of the hiding place much late, which made others lose interest in his hiding place. It hints at the irony of the situation. Now students, remember, any question from textbook will be asked for literature based questions. So you need to read the textbook as well as the note provided thoroughly. You also need to learn the names of authors and poets of the relevant lesson for exams. all of you must watch the previous video where we had taught in details. You will be having MCQ type question, that is multiple choice question in exams. Composition format should be thoroughly done. For this, watch previous video where the details are given. Alright students, Sai Ram, take care.